Okay, this is going to be a NFL talk, and we're going to talk about some of these horrible NFL owners. Everybody always talk about the players. Let's talk a little bit about these owners. Okay, so what are your take on some of these owners? Give me a couple of your owners.
I'll just do two, and I have a runner-up. All right.
Okay.
So my number one is the Bengals owner. He's abysmal. He just gets lucky by having a good quarterback or a good coach. And what a couple years ago was a story. This is when Marvin Lewis got fired. For your young kids, that was the coach before Taylor and all the other ones. Marvin Lewis was the coach for like 15 years. Marvin Lewis got fired, and he was like, I did a lot. It was like they needed a tight end. So they was like, instead of paying $500,000 to get another tight end, the owner comes and talks to the coach and says, you got a couple of good DNs, let them play tight end. He's too cheap to pay somebody a couple $100,000.
Right.
Or they for years didn't have actual like water stations for the players for practice. They had to go run half a mile or some crazy type of stuff for them to get water at a water fountain.
Right.
An NFL player has to go to a water fountain. And then thirdly, the team nutritionist of the team, because he was so cheap, he wouldn't buy the players real good food, like healthier foods, like or a meal plan for them. He would have like a buffet, and then that buffet would be like a green stick that's good for you and a red stick that'll be bad for you. So he'll let them have fried chicken. You can have 3 bad things and 2 good things.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cheap because the good bad stuff is cheaper.
That's right.
And then for my second one, I mean, he's abysmal. Khan, I think his name is for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Always firing a coach. Always getting a quarterback cut. Firing presidents of his teams.
Right.
Always doing stuff.
Right.
And now he's talking about he wants to talk about moving the Jacksonville Jaguars to the to London. And
wow.
Because all his businesses are in London, so he wants them to be close to his business. But NFL isn't gonna rock with that. That's too much. That's too much for every team to go to London. That's the only one. Like they only go. One team goes once a year.
Right.
Versus every team he plays.
It would be worse for his team because they would have to always come
fly, and then they have to fly back.
It won't be for the visitor team.
But it'll also be bad for the visitor teams too. It'll be bad for everybody.
Especially in that division.
And then it'll be bad for the fans because the game will have to be at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or that's for Central Time. For Pacific Time, it'll be 6 or 7 in the morning.
Right.
So it's not good for nobody. He's a terrible owner. And then my runner will be the Raiders owner. He cares for his team. He just don't know nothing about football.
Yeah, he don't know.
He just like his daddy. His daddy cared for the team. His dad just knew more about football.
Right. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give you a couple of mines then, and I'm gonna give a runner up. So mine's is gonna be Cleveland. What's his name? Haslam.
Yeah, Haslam, I believe.
How in the heck you have 2 sexual assault quarterbacks in the same room? People have been accused of having sexual assault in the same locker room. Okay. He just has this team, this organization. How do you fire your coach because he wins a game?
He's winning games.
He's winning games and you want him to lose. So Cleveland, you never gonna win with that on. So how you gonna do that with your coach, Hugh Jackson? Yeah. So that's a horrible owner. And what's so bad, that team has a lot of talent.
Oh, unbelievable.
It's a lot of talent on that team.
I feel like he's another cheap one.
He is probably cheap. I'm not going to say he's really cheap like the Bengals coach, the Bengals owner, but
that's probably the cheapest.
I don't think you can get any cheaper than Mike Brown for the Bengals. But this guy here, he meddles too much. He's a meddling owner.
Yep.
And so you can't win with a meddling owner, which is going to bring me to my second owner, Tapper, with Carolina. How do you keep firing these coaches?
Yeah.
You should have kept Frank Wright. Frank Wright showed you. He got a ring with Philly as the offensive coordinator.
Did pretty good in Indianapolis.
He did really good in Indianapolis. He just never had a quarterback. So why don't you let him develop this Bryce Young out of Alabama?
Yep.
Tie those two together and let him develop the quarterback. He is a quarterback too.
Yeah,
he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
he fires all his coaches.
Yeah,
After 1 or 2 seasons, he's firing them. He's always meddling, so he's another one. And then my runner up is another meddling coach. How about those Cowgirls? Jerry in Jerry World. He's another meddler.
In my defense for Jerry, in my defense.
Come on.
Now, Jerry may be a meddler. Don't get it wrong. But these are my 3 points for Jerry that he's not one of the worst.
Okay.
1, he always keeps his team prestige. That's like the locker room very clean. The food, nutrition is very good. Like Jerry,
all those aesthetics are fine.
Jerry will pay. Jerry keeps a good roster overall.
He pays his stars.
He keeps a good roster. He got a nice stadium for him. They ain't got a stadium from the 1980s or like the Chargers. The reason why the Chargers
he likes that image. But the problem with Jerry, how's it that the owner has a radio show?
Yeah.
How's it that the players don't fear the coach because all they got to do is go to Jerry? So Jerry meddles too much, and all of his coaches are yes boys.
I mean, all big star teams, they have the players who are also big stars always go to the owner over the coach. Like our famous one, Magic Johnson, he went to the owner over the coach. It's when you're a big star and a big stars team, you usually always go over your boss because you're the boss over them.
You never go win with Jerry Jones as the owner. Well, he meddles too much.
That's true.
He meddles too much. Anyway, this is my picks. Those are J Real picks. What are your picks? Leave something in the comments.